Greetings to everybody who's watching this video. Make sure you leave a like and a comment and subscribe. Shout out to everybody who leaves a like before the video even starts, you know what I'm saying? But I wanted to talk about what happened in Virginia. There's a lot of protesters out there, and there's like people that are protesting other protesters, and just a lot of mayhem. 3 people died, and it's just like, that's like one of our main problems as a society. There's so much going on, so many people are fighting against each other, and it causes so much tension in the environment. It just ripples through, and people feel anxious, people feel the tension. And I used to try to figure out how to deal with my own anxieties and things like that, and I've come to the conclusion that there's just no way to handle that. I've even made videos on how to handle it, and I've given really good advice, but there's no way to 100% completely be clear of anxiety when you're out here, because it's really dangerous, and there's tension between people. It's that simple. There's tension between people, so you aren't going to be 100% calm. And it's mainly because of the white supremacists. Like, let's just be honest, you know. But there's just so much that goes on. It starts with like racism. That's like the main crime that everybody is allowed to get away with, and that makes it where people don't have enough. There's people that are greedy because of that, or more spoiled, and they really want to fight for any last little resource that they can have, and then they're allowed to commit crimes, and it doesn't stop there, you know. That goes on like throughout their life. It's not like they just hurt one type of person or just hurt one race. They end up going back into their own community, and they hurt other people that look like them, you know. And it's really complex. It's not just that's just the gist of it, but there's a lot that goes into what is causing all this tension and what's causing people to feel the way that they feel. And it's like we don't really have in America. All we have is people say that we have an American government, we have all these different countries have their own governments, but everything is run by white supremacy, right? Therefore, that's what's governing the land. So that means that there's only one government, which is white supremacy. So if you really think about it, there's no America. There's no other countries. There's nothing. All we have is white supremacy, right? So all of this, all the problems of the world are really because they control everything. If you look at who's at the top of every organization, of everything, all the power, it's all white supremacy. So when you start looking at all these problems, you know who to blame. Because if you look at, if you were at a job and things are really bad, you normally are going to blame the boss, the person who's in charge. And that's the only thing that makes sense. The white supremacists are clearly the ones who are in charge, and they're just running the country into the ground, right? So that's causing everybody's anxiety, because it just creates a whole bunch of tension. It creates a whole bunch of pain and madness and all this type of stuff where people don't know how to treat each other on a day-to-day basis. So for one, you feel the tension that's going on in the country, right? How do you go to the store today and not feel any tension when you know that people died, you know, just yesterday over racism, which is, I'm classified as a race, you know, and I know that, you know, I'm a part of that, even if I haven't done anything. Like, I'm still a part of it. And the same thing with anybody who's anybody. So at the end of the day, we're all going to feel some anxiety. So that's one part of it. But then the other part is just how people don't know how to treat each other, how people stand, like people stand too close to you or too far away. You know, people just mistreating people just because they feel like they can get away with it. You see somebody who is smaller than you, and then you don't treat them with the same respect just because, hey, what are they going to do to me? I'm twice their size. Like, all of that contributes to the problem. It's like, if people aren't treating people the way that they're supposed to be treated, then it's going to catch up to everybody. Everybody's going to be anxious. It's going to have ripple effects all through the society. So we need to start with the main thing, the biggest problem, which is racism. But then once we solve that problem, just teaching people how to deal with other people throughout the day, in every situation. How close is too close? How far is too far when you're talking about just standing behind somebody in line? We need to go all the way back to the basics to be able to, like, basically clear all of this up. We've come too far, like, as a people. Like, if you think about it, we're pretty intelligent. Like, human beings are intelligent, right? In comparison to any other life form that we know of. So how are we the most deadly? Like, we kill more people than any other, like, more, when I say more people, but more members of our own species than any other species on the planet. It's just kind of like, how do we not know how to treat each other? It's like, it's 2017 and you still can't leave your house and know that nobody, another human being, isn't going to hurt you. Another human being who's just like you, who knows the difference between right and wrong. You don't know whether you're going to make it home, not because of an accident, but just because somebody might hurt you. You don't know. And we shouldn't be still dealing with that. It's not the, what I'm saying? It's not the dark ages. It's not way, like, it's 2017. We shouldn't even, like, I'm not even talking about just straight racism anymore. I'm talking about just all across the board. There shouldn't be anybody killing anybody. It's so normal that you think, like, yeah, people are going to have conflicts and people are going to die and things like that. But I don't think that's true. Like, I think, like, murder and all the bad stuff that can happen to you, like, that could be to the point where we can get it to where that's, like, extremely, like, rare. The only reason why people are doing that is because we let so much go on in the society to where there's no clear law anymore. And then it gets out of hand, and then now everybody's just doing all this. But yeah, people look at those type of situations, they think that, oh, that's just how life is. You can't make it where nobody kills anyone. You can't do that. That's how life is. There's always gonna be somebody dying. There's always gonna be somebody killing somebody. It's almost foreign to most people to think that that's not how life is. But I assure you that life isn't like that. It's not supposed to be like that. Like, we can get it to the point where people aren't killing each other, and it's not like killing isn't normal. We got it to the point where killing's normal. Like, you know what I mean? So that's the whole point, is that we can't even trust other human beings. So you're not going to be able to be calm and walk through the world and be confident and be who you are and all this when you can't even trust the person sitting next to you not to hurt you or rob you or do something to you. But I say being who you are, being calm, living freely mentally, without a worry in the world and all that, even for white people, it's going to come only once everybody has peace. And the only way we can have peace is if we got to eliminate white supremacy, not even racism. There's really no racism, because racism is white supremacy. You can't have somebody else, like, you can't have non-white people be racist towards white people, because non-white people don't really control anything. So you can't systematically harm or deprive them, a white person, of anything, but the white people can do that to you, so the white supremacists are the only racists on the planet. When you say supremacy, that means that they're supreme. That means that there's nobody who could possibly practice racism against them, because they are the supreme one. They're the supreme race. So how can somebody who's not in a supreme position, meaning you don't have the power to do anything, how can you practice racism? You can't. So there's no racism coming from anybody other than the white supremacists. That's the reason why white supremacy is racism. So the point is that even for white people, if you want to be able to be who you truly are, be calm, and just get rid of all this tension, you have to work against white supremacy and solve that problem. And black people and all non-white people, because I start talking about white supremacy and people always think about just black people, but we're not the only victims of white supremacy either. All non-white people, all people who are classified as non-white, including Asians, including Mongoloids, and all people who are classified as non-white are victims of white supremacy. Of course, there's a color scale, like there's a hierarchy as far as who gets the most abuse, which is black people. But if you're not white, then you're still a victim of white supremacy. Like you're not free, So that's, what I mean, there's a problem there too with everybody. So everybody really should be trying to get rid of should be trying to get rid of the problem of white supremacy. And just any problem, because if people don't have enough to eat, if people don't have enough, they don't have a place to sleep and stuff like that, which really, like, all of that is orchestrated by the white supremacists anyway, because again, they control everything. So if people can't get resources, who controls all the resources? Who has all the resources? It's the white supremacists. So all these problems all go back to them, if you really think about it. But if there's people that are out that don't have anything, that in and of itself is going to be dangerous, because they're going to be looking to take what you have. And I'm not saying it like that. I'm saying even as a black person, I need to worry about other people, even white people. There's white people who are homeless, who don't have anything. We call those people white sacrifices, by the way, because they have to kind of sacrifice a few people who are of the white race to be able to claim that there's no white supremacy. But even I have to worry about white sacrifices who might rob me or who might hurt me, I have to worry about the white supremacists themselves who will hurt me. I have to worry about other victims of white supremacy who might hurt me, and everybody has to worry about the white supremacists. They get to the point where they get out of control and they end up hurting other white people. Look at what happened in Virginia. All the people this is basically like just complete race war, race battle thing going on. And then look at who are the main people who got hurt. It was a white woman who got ran over. The white people who died in the helicopter crash. So there's white people who end up getting hurt as well because of the white supremacists. If there was no nothing going on down there, the people that who were in that helicopter wouldn't have been there. You know, they would have been home with their family. You know, so it was just a complete disaster. So that's what I'm saying is that it's not just non-white people, or not, it's not just black people who need to worry about the white supremacists and who get harmed by white supremacists. You know, even white people are getting harmed out here. And it's just how it is. And yeah, that lady who got ran over, should she have been walking through there completely calm, you know, non-anxious, confident in herself, you know, just being herself? That wouldn't have made sense, because she was in danger. She was in danger. And somebody would hurt her who looks just like her. And they did. And there was other people, more than just she got killed. She wasn't the only person who got hit. There's other people. It was like 19 other people who got harmed, you know? So that's my point, is that we need to solve this whole problem so everybody can just be easy. You know what I'm saying? Just be able to live life and just be easy. And that's the main idea of this video. I'm gonna get a close up of these cities just because I think that's really cool. And I have a couple questions to answer. All right, so Julie Corgis asks, she says, how to continue to stay no contact with a narcissist parent and not respond to them baiting you through other people. Now, the best way to do that is to cut off all the other people that they're going to bait you with, at least until you can get on your feet and you're strong and you have a support system outside of everybody who they can contact. You know, still stay no contact with them. And if there's people that you still want to talk to, like, because usually the people that they use to bait you in is going to be other family members. So it's going to be like, you know, you don't want to miss Thanksgiving and all this stuff that you would normally be able to participate in, but your parents are kind of blocking that and trying to turn people against you. So you got your cousins and your aunts and uncles and people that you can't really talk to that you normally would. So yeah, I get what you're saying. But first cut all of them off, and then if you really feel like you can trust one of them, then yeah, maybe go back to them later on in life after you've gotten yourself established, you get your support system, even if it's just a forum that you can talk to people at, then you can kind of get to them. But you got to realize how this happens. It's kind of like once you start talking to them, they don't understand why you guys aren't talking to each other. So then the first chance they get, they bring it up to your parents, and then your parents start working their magic on them, because it's easy to do it. You know, the family, everybody expects the child to be the one who's wrong, you know, so they already have an advantage over you when it comes to convincing who, like, as far as whose side to be on and things like that. So don't even play that game. But if you cut somebody off long enough, including the person that they're flying monkey, or I don't even know, like, if you should automatically classify them as a flying monkey, because it just depends on how they go about doing it. It's kind of almost a natural reaction to kind of, you know, try to mend things, or it's just how they're doing it. But if you cut that person off long enough, they'll get the point that you're serious about, that you don't want them to contact your parents, you know. So you kind of do that, and just see how that works. If it doesn't work, you know, they might still, you know, go behind your back, and then you got to cut them off, you know. So the next question is from Moonlight on the River, and she says that I don't see any videos out here on narcissistic children. Can you please do one for the parents who are going through hell with this? I don't know. because I don't have any kids, so I don't know. I don't even really know any narcissistic kids, maybe as I was growing up, I knew some toxic kids like my sister, but I don't like, from your perspective, like I couldn't really give you any solid advice on that, other than the fact that this dynamic is different. It's not like it's your boss or your parents or your spouse, somebody who has equal power to you. Like if you're dealing with a kid, it's purely, at least for the most part, unless they're just a psycho or something like that, it's purely just emotional manipulation, that you have to worry about with them. And if you know yourself enough and you start writing down when they do manipulate you. Now, I don't really want to give advice because I don't know. I don't know if you're like you in particular, what your situation is. I could be giving advice to the wrong person, and then now I'm helping out how to overpower a kid. So what I mean. Like I don't really want to touch that. So I'll just leave that at that. Um, yeah, I don't know. I'm not a parent, so I can't really give you too much advice. But everybody who's made it to this point, thank you for watching all the way to the end. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and hit the bell